Hey there, folks. Welcome to another edition of High School Roundup here on CUTV. And I'm your host, you can see right here. Oh, never mind. You can't see it anymore. But I'm Colin Kirkwood joining you here live. And once again, we got another great edition of wrap-up of high school football from around Western Pennsylvania with my two analysts today, Trevin TK Catellis and Nolan Beisline. Guys, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, man. I'm ready to go for more high school football.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Second time on, but glad to be back again.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been around, but it's good to have you back. And of course, we're going to go right into it here with TJ. TJ and LH was the South Union game of the week, and TK, I feel like there isn't much more I can say about that.
No, not much at all. Pretty much a blowout for TJ on a big win, so we're going to give you guys a look at the highlights, and we'll give you a rundown. So you can see right here, early start here, Dylan Malozzi, a big run right side all the way in for the score, up early for TJ. This time, Dan Diesner with a grab in for the end zone. It's another touchdown, a fake handoff here. Big throw, James Martinez with the catch, making some moves around a defender and tiptoeing into the end zone for another touchdown up 21-0. This time, Hudson, a 62-yard pass to Stump as he gets a little shifty after the catch, and it's a foot race to the end zone. No one's going to catch him, 27-0 up for TJ. Another little toss out to the left side, all the way in for the score, untouched. It's just an absolute domination for TJ. It was 54-0 at the half. What a great runaway game TJ had over LH. You can see one more run here. It was Eckley running in for the touchdown. As you can see, the final score there, 60-0, Thomas Jefferson over Laurel Highlands. Another big win for TJ, and they continue to be almost a runaway train as no one's beating them.
A smart guy once told me never bet against Thomas Jefferson, but I've bet against Thomas Jefferson multiple times, and I've learned. You'd think I would have learned by now, but I still continue to do it anyway. But we can go ahead and check out the rest of the Big Eight here. Of course, two teams are going to be missing from that. We're not going to be seeing West Mifflin and Belle Vernon because they were our game of the week. We'll get to see the highlights from that after the first commercial break here. But we got Greensburg, Salem, and Ringgold. Ringgold struggling and not scoring a point there, 37-0. And, of course, Black Hawk and Indiana. Indiana picking up a win 13-10. They definitely needed that to get their season rolling.
Yeah, they did indeed. I picked Black Hawk on that one, I'm not going to lie. But Indiana proved me wrong. They had a great game. They played solid defense against Black Hawk. They stood their ground, and they got a win.
Moving on forward here, Trinity and Penn Trafford was another one. And I do not believe that is how that shook down. I'm pretty sure it was Penn Trafford that got that win there. Either way. Moving forward here, we can check out the Big Eight standings and see what's going on with those. Pretty much everything spoken for here in the Big Eight. TJ, Belle Vernon, Greensburg, Salem, and West Mifflin have all clinched playoff berths, and the rest of the pack is officially eliminated.
Yeah, TJ's just up there pretty much controlling everything. And with them being so strong on defense, only allowed almost about 4 points per game. So 8-0 in the season and only 4 points per game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they're a tough team. You really can't bet against them, like I said, yet I just keep doing it anyway. You think I'd learn, but let's go ahead and jump on into these Big East 3A scores now, see how that conference had a week here. Burrell and Freeport, that was a good one, 36-35. Burrell picked up the win here. Mount Pleasant, nothing. Elizabeth Forward, 24. EF got back on track.
Yeah, he did. He had a great game matchup overall. Offense was clicking, defense was clicking, and Mount Pleasant just couldn't get anything going against them, and Elizabeth Forward taking the commanding lead and a win.
Continuing on here with the rest of these, North Catholic and Uniontown, 56-14. Not much to say about that one. Darien Yock, 42-6. Derry, big win over Yock, Nolan.
Yeah, it was a big win there for Derry. The defense once again stepped up, as we see most of these high school teams, and just Yock couldn't get much going. They only scored that one and only touchdown.
Continuing here once more, it's going to be Keystone Oaks and Deer Lakes. The Fighting Dom Constantini's picking up the win there, 42-14 over the Lancers of Deer Lakes. Jumping on forward once again here. Now we can check out the standings. Take a look here. North Catholic, Derry, and EF have all managed to clinch into there. Burrell and Deer Lakes are still alive, but the rest of the gang, as well as Mount Pleasant, still alive as well. That was one that shocked me when I was looking through some of the scenarios, but Mount Pleasant, they're still alive. They need a win this week.
Yeah, there's those three teams between Burrow, Deer Lakes, and Mount Pleasant that, all depending what happens this week. I mean, high school football can switch like that, and a team can come out with a win. So I think we need to pay attention to those three teams until after Friday night.
We're going to be paying attention to Mount Pleasant for sure, but I'm not going to spoil why just yet. It might be one of the pick'em games. Not going to tease it, but anyway, let's keep on going here. Now we can check out these Big East 5A. Sorry, TK. Franklin Regional and Connellsville 35-0, and Latrobe and Plum 28-20. Connellsville, TK.
Yeah, they're officially out.
Yeah.
They're officially out. I'm not going to elaborate on it. They haven't looked too good at all. They have another big matchup coming up this week that I don't think they're going to win either. And then maybe a win in the last week, but
Maybe.
I'll
take that. Good enough. Continuing forward here, let's check out the next batch. We got Gateway and Maslin, Ohio. Maslin, tough team here, 48-12. Gateway falls on the road in another state. McKeesport 46, Kiski 0. People have been really letting McKeesport slide under the radar here, Nolan.
Yeah,
I don't think you should.
Yeah, I don't think McKeesport is. Just I feel as though every time I've looked up scores for them this year, it's been, one after another, as they've scored over 37 points per game. They have a strong offensive team, and even their defense only letting up 16 per game. And even against Kiski area, nothing. So that helped that for sure.
And I think that Maslin team also played Harrisburg this year as well and beat Harrisburg as well. So really, this is a tough team. Don't quote me on it, but if I remember correctly, they did beat the Cougars as well. So don't quote me on that one, but let's continue on forward here. There is the right one. Penn Trafford 55, Trinity 14. I knew I was going to have it right somewhere, but either way, that's the right one.
Yeah, Penn Trafford always looks good at the top of that conference, and they continue to roll with another big win versus Trinity. I was confused when we saw the first score. I'm like, did that really happen? But
a lot of slides, a lot of numbers, bound to get one wrong.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, Penn Trafford looks good.
Yeah, moving on forward here, let's check out the standings in this one. Penn Trafford, Gateway, McKeesport, Franklin Regional, and Latrobe all in the mix. Plum still around looking for a wild card, but either way, Latrobe, they got the win last week and they're in, Nolan.
Yeah, Latrobe got that big win last week, and that's what they needed. So keeping their playoff hopes alive, as they can easily hang with any of these other teams, but they need to make sure that they bring out a full effort each and every week.
Got to take care of business.
That is correct.
Going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll have more things coming up for you after this. We'll have the Game of the Week highlights. We'll have 2A scores and standings, 1A score and standings as well, and the hometown board as well. So don't go anywhere. More high school roundup coming up next, live here on CUTV Sports 1.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Going to jump right into these highlights here. Keep me on my toes today. Plowing all right on into the end zone. It's Jared Hartman sneaking in for the score. 7-0 Bell Vernon. Bell Vernon on a great night here against West Mifflin. It was homecoming for them. There goes the snap. Woo-hoo, got to look out for that one. It's going to go right through the legs here. Tayshawn McMillan and Nikese Hodges-Demery pick up this amazing touchdown pass here. I know this threw TK for a loop during the game on Friday. I don't think anybody expected that, but we got it done on that gold turf there, 7-7. Moving on forward here, an amazing pass coming up once again. It's from Hartman to Devin Whitlock, making it 14-7 in the back corner of that end zone. Tiptoe right on the line, but he's keeping it in. Look at that. He is excited. Moving on forward once again, Hartman with a roll out to the side. He's going to toss this one way into the end zone. And look at that, bringing it in. Another great grab there. You have to love the effort that these Bell Vernon Leopards are putting on here. Now we're going to see a field goal attempt here. Let's see it. There it goes. It was right at the half, and they were able to sneak it in, get on the board there with that one, and kept it a bit of a comfort lead there for Bell Vernon as they were able to jump into the half. They were excited about it. Tell you what, that gold turf never ceases to look great on camera here. Moving on forward. Let's check it out. Rolling to the outside once again. It's West Mifflin, and there's going to be nowhere to go on that one. The ball's going to come out. Bell Vernon thinks they have it, and they do. This really threw everybody off in the production truck last week, but they got the ball back. People didn't think they had it. I thought they did. Excited team here. It's going to be another sneak right up the middle. Push the old pile, you know, real 80s style football right on into the end zone. Make it 25-7. Here is a picked off interception here. Going to go the whole way with this one. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Leopards. Getting excited there after that one. You got to love to see that. Devin Whitlock getting on the board there for the Leopards. Once again, it's going to be Bell Vernon on offense here. Dropping back to throw. It's going to be a screen look to the outside. Dodges one. Can he dodge both the rest of them? Whoop, dodging another one. Still on his feet. And he's into the end zone once again there. Whitlock screen pass to Nolan Labuda. Make it 40-7. And that's where it would stay. And there's the long field goal attempt here. It was 65 yards, threw everybody off. I don't think people expected a field goal that long. So, you know, kind of had to coach people through it. But either way, it was 40-7. Bell Vernon picking up the win. And that one looking strong as ever in the Big 8.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I was on the call with that game alongside Doug, and it was a great matchup overall. And we were a little thrown off with, like you said, that one play. I
don't think
didn't know where the ball was when he threw it to the end zone. But the 65-yard field goal attempt, for a second I thought he had a shot because he has a leg. Like, he's a great kicker, so I wouldn't put anything past him.
I want to see if he can do it again later in the season. You never know. But either way, now let's check out these Interstate 2A scores here. Beth Center in Washington, 56-14. Really all you got to say about that. Then moving on forward, Fraser and Brownsville. Ooh, you hate to see that. 42-21 if you're a Brownsville fan. Fraser coming up strong in that one. Fraser, you love that. Moving on forward here. Charleroi and McGuffey. McGuffey, this is one that really threw a lot of people for a loop. I know it dropped you and Doug there, TK. You were thinking Charleroi, but I knew deep down in my heart that it was going to be a McGuffey game, 28-14. And Southmoreland and Shenango. That goes for you, Doug. He's poor guy. He didn't even know how to say it. You know, we were doing the game last week at Sophomore, and he goes, "Yeah, they're gonna play." It was just the whole way through. But either way, Shenango 42-26. But let's talk about that Charleroi game, PK.
Yeah, I mean, they gave it a good shot. They didn't play as well as I think they have played in some other games. McGuffey obviously just showed that, you know, they're more dominant than Charleroi is, and they couldn't get things back on track as the Cougars team. So a good win from McGuffey. I'll give it to them all the way. Maybe Charleroi can get back on track this week.
Oh, and I'm surprised you still haven't picked your branded favorite team on the panel yet. Everybody's got one. I still haven't heard what yours is yet, but we're going to go ahead and check out Carmichael's and Union. Might sound familiar. We did that game last year. It was at Carmichael's, but the Mighty Mikes picking up the win 27-18. That's my favorite team.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't picked my favorite team yet. I'm sure we will.
Hey, running out of time.
Yeah.
You better pick something soon.
Well, we'll get there. But yeah, Carmichael's and the Mighty Mikes able to push through there against Union to get that non-conference victory.
Tweet us who you think Nolan's favorite team should be at CUTV_PA. We want to hear your suggestions. Maybe we'll have a Cal High super fan here on the board. Either way, let's jump into the standings of the Interstate 2A here. McGuffey, Washington, Charleroi, Southmoreland, all in. Rest of the gang not invited to the party.
Yeah, I mean, the rest pretty much half and half, but that top four of that interstate is going to be pretty competitive, especially if they go up against one another to see who can get the victory. I feel as though that one team is going to come out strong, and it's just going to be a simple mistake.
Who do you like coming out of this conference?
Um,
I have an idea what you're going to say, but I figured I'd at least let you elaborate.
I like Charleroi, but I can't put anything past Southmoreland. They've been in a drought. They've been in a drought for playoffs for a long, long time.
They're just counting down the weeks.
They are counting down the weeks, and I think they can make a run. I mean, they're in that drought, so if they can go out here and put all their force forward, I think that they could possibly make a run here to make it better than just ending the drought. Possibly get some wins in playoffs as well.
Right. Let's check out the Tri-County South now, the 1A scores that we've got on the board here. Bentworth in California, 67-34, so close. Moving on forward here, Shark Houston and Avella, 40-0, also so close. Continuing on with the rest of these, Mapletown and Monessen, 24-8. This one was actually kind of close here. Monessen kind of struggling out the gate here. And then we got this one. I still continue to wonder why half the panel chose to go with West Green, because it's Clairton. And kind of goes with the TJ rules here. You don't pick against Clairton, but TK thought it would be a good idea to pick against Clairton.
Yeah. Well, like I thought West Green originally, and then when I did the show last week, you guys said Clairton was like the beast of the area. I'm like, I probably picked that one wrong. So
Yeah, it's
I'll take the loss because it's an honest mistake. I didn't know how great Clairton was. So
Nolan, you've seen it before. Clairton, they're tough.
Clairton is a tough team. They just kind of come in, take care of business, and leave. Pretty much show up on that bus, warm up, play, leave.
Warm up on the bus.
They're
running screen routes on the bus. Either way, moving on forward here. Let's check out the rest now. Olsh and Jeff Morgan, another close one. That'll bring us to the end of the scores there. Not much to elaborate on in the Tri-County South this week. We can check out the standings now. There it is. West Green, they're in. Shark Houston and California still hanging around. Rest of the gang will not be joining in the fun this year, but that means the CUTV Game of the Week is going to have some implications here on who's going to finish second in the Tri-County South. And whoever loses the game is going to be the one that has to sit back and watch what's happening with the wild card scenario.
yeah, indeed. Like I said, with our CTV game, you're talking about the second and third seed out of this Tri-County South, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. But both these teams look good. They look pretty evenly matched to me. We'll get to our pick'ems as well to see who we picked, but it's gonna really be that deciding factor, who gets in and who's hoping to get in. So we'll see what happens coming up this week.
Any thoughts on that one?
Both teams score close to 30 points per game, so I think it's going to be a shootout. Sadly, won't be able to be there for it, but I'll make sure I tune in to watch.
He'll watch. I know he'll watch.
I'm sure I'll be watching, so it should be a great one.
Let's go ahead and check out. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
I don't want to
no.
jump on
Finish
you.
out the season strong.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. You want to be able to get your way into the playoffs. But let's go ahead and pay a quick visit to the hometown standings board now. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to really come down to the wire here. Of course, Richland. Then we have Central Dauphin. 5-0, 6-2, guest picker of the week tease. Go ahead, rack your brains, high school roundup fans. Who's it going to be? Think about it. See if you can figure it out before you come back from the break. Conrad Weiser, 4-4. Brownsville and Millersburg both at 2-6. This is where the fun gets at the bottom. Laurel Highlands 1-7. Connellsville 1-7. Halifax 0-8. We could have a three-way tie at the end of the season. You don't know.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that someone else has to buy the pizza. But, if I have to, I have to. I'll be the honest man. I think Connellsville might pull out one more win, though, so I'm hoping I can get above that and not have to worry about that issue.
Nolan, it's going to be a tough go for you over there. You might want to start moving some funds around.
Yeah, I think it's going to start moving funds around. We were good last year. You could say that if I was here last year.
Yeah, if you were here last year, you would have been up at the top
I would have
there.
been at the top, but
Yeah.
this year,
Not so much.
we'll just leave it at the rebuild. We're going for that first pick if there was in high school football.
Yeah, they're going for the
Draft
first pick.
picks.
They're just going to have to rebuild, get ready for next season, joining a brand new conference. Halifax is next year. They're going to be in the mid-pen next year as the Tri-Valley League is going to no longer exist. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of teams in that mid-pen, and it's going to be really something new. It's going to be new. It's going to be exciting, something we haven't seen up north of the mountains, or mountain towns, as it's been called, which I don't agree with, but I'm not going to get off my soapbox on that. But no, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be different for sure, not seeing those same old rivalries every Friday night where you saw, at least for we know, the Lime Mountains and the Tri-Valleys, and now you're going to get some more teams out of different areas, so it's going to be a good matchup in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how it shakes down. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break here. We'll have the Pick'em standings, the alumni picker reveal, the games we're picking in, Dougie certified top 3 fresh plays. Can't even say it. They're going to be so hot, super fire. So don't go anywhere. You're watching High School Roundup live right here on CTV Sports 1.
Consider the future. Your future. At California University of Pennsylvania, you can build your life your way because we believe in you. We invest in you, empower you to create the future you envision. We give you the tools and teaching so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision of you. Build you at CalU. Visit us at calu.edu.
Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of High School Roundup. Colin Kirkwood here, and we made a quick audible in the break, and it's going to be TK. He's still here. He didn't leave. But now we got Gary Smith joining us here.
Yeah, what had happened was I came in to readjust the camera, and Colin said, sit down. He wanted to watch the guest picker live with us on set, and then also get some of my, I feel like a lot of my picks have not been represented well the last couple weeks, so I want to make sure that...
He wants to testify.
Yeah, I want to make sure that my picks are right this week. But I want to see this guest picker.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check out the guest picker video here. It was Central Dauphin. That was the clue that we had, so let's check it out.
How you doing, guys?
Oh, there he is.
Back here on High School Roundup. Awesome to be back and giving back to you guys. Let's get right into football. 5A, McKeesport and Franklin Regional, 6-2 McKeesport and 4-2 Franklin Regional. McKeesport's last win was a 46-0 win over Kiski, but is Kiski really all that good? We'll see, as they're on a 4-game win streak. Robinson, Cousins, Davari, and Assad had a multiple games over 2 touchdowns. I know 2 weeks ago, 4 touchdowns for Davari and 3 for Assad. So we'll see what they can do up against this Franklin Regional team. Got a victory against Connellsville last week, 35-7, 28 points in the first half, and Zach Gordon 230 yards against Connellsville. But I'm going to say that those Robinson twins turn out to be, they're going to wreak havoc, I believe. McKeesport is going to win big in that game. And then 4A, Laurel Highlands and Indiana, a battle of the 1-7 teams. Laurel Highlands, their last game, lost 60-0 against TJ. I'm sure you guys went over those highlights early on. And Indiana lost their last game, 42-14, a loss to Blackhawk. And Laurel Highlands, though, they've been on the losing side of multiple lopsided games, games of 63 points scored against them, 62 and 60 points. I'm going to say that Laurel Highlands is going to get mad, and they're going to get their second win of the year, move to 2-7 over the Indiana team. 3A now, Freeport and Mount Pleasant, 3-4 Freeport team against a 3-5 Mount Pleasant team. Freeport wins over Uniontown, Yock, and Deer Lakes. Not really impressed. Same thing, though, goes for Mount Pleasant. Not very impressed over their wins. Freeport's veteran roster, though, I'm going to say that's what gets them the win. This game is going to be a close game, 3-4, 3-5. You never really know who really to pick. In the 2A game, McGuffey and Avonworth, undefeated teams, 8-0. This is a beautiful game. 363 points scored for McGuffey. They got the Whipkey brothers, and we'll see what they can do against Avonworth. 295 points scored. Jax Miller had 239 yards rushing in his last game, but the Whipkey brothers, their late game heroics against Charleroi. Marshall Whipkey got it done. We'll see what they can do because they have a tough opponent their next game against Washington. So that's always going to be a close one. Washington, the Prexies, they always play close. So we'll see. I'm going to say that McGuffey is going to stop Avonworth's run game, And this is going to be a toss-up game. You never know who really to pick. 1A now. Rochester and Monessen. 1-7 Rochester, 3-5 Monessen. First win last week for Rochester against Northgate on the road. Monessen, what are you doing? 3-5. Come on. I'm going to say they moved to 4-5. They're going to get it done against Rochester. And the CUTV game of the week, you always know, whenever it's a California game, we got to go up north. They're playing Gannon this week, so we're covering a California game. Shark Houston and California. Shark Houston kept it close against Monessen. Cal whooped Monessen, so we'll see what happens in this game. Not impressed enough with Shark Houston. California at home. I'm going to say it's a win for California. Book that and send it off. And that's enough for me. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can all come down to Tampa, maybe see a game. But seeing all the work that you guys are putting out, and it's very, very proud to be a CUTV alum. So thank you guys, and we'll see you later.
Whose house? Rams house. Danny Beck joining us this week, the Central Dolphins' finest here. But take a look at these pick'em standings. Another rough week there for Nolan, 1-5. He's down to 24-12. But Doug, barely's treading water here. He's a game above a dog. Just want to point that out. And TK, you're not out of the woods yet either. You're 2 games above a dog here, so I don't want to hear it out of you over there.
I'm doing okay. I'm still above Doug. So Doug, I'm not that far away. I'm kind of riding alongside the mayor there. So as long as I stick with him and we stay above Doug in the race, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, you're still striking distance. I'm still in striking distance. Bobby D still at the top, 31-5. The internet, 28-8, and then I'm 27-9. You're right behind me though, 26-10.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I feel like I've had a pretty good season. I picked some really big upsets earlier to try and gain some ground on Bobby D. He's such a good picker. You kind of have to throw out all conventions to try and catch up with him. I saw his computer matrix that he picks all the games with, and it's tough to compete.
It's rare to see when he gets one wrong. He got 2 wrong last week, and it was probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a while. But Guest alumni, Freddie Fu, 2-4. Woof. Creator of the show might have lost his touch a little bit there as he wasn't able to keep up with us this week. But let's jump right in. We're going to go 5A. Let's check it out. McKeesport and Franklin Regional. I'm going McKeesport. Devin's going Franklin Regional. And Nolan is 2. TK, Franklin Regional, question mark?
Yeah, I just kind of looked at the stats between the two of them. I saw the way they both played versus my hometown team, which is not that good of a team. But anyway, Franklin Regional just looks like they can put up more points. And I looked specifically at the defense and how many points they allow. And they allow less points against teams in their conference. So I went with Franklin Regional just on that note.
That's what you want to see. You want to see who's going to give up less points.
Yeah, I got one of the McKeesport on the McKeesport rule. It's always tough to pick against them, unless the playoffs. I know a couple times I've been burnt with them in the playoffs, but I have a firm McKeesport rule during the regular season.
I'm thinking McKeesport too here. Let's check out 4A now. It's going to be a battle of one-win teams here, LH and Indiana. Kind of split on the panel here. Doug's going Indiana. Gary's going Indiana too, and TK is going with Indiana. Guys, why Indiana? Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana.
Well, I wish I would have thought about that. No, we've been seeing LH all year in the highlights, and I've seen some things. They have some players, but I just think Indiana, they've had a couple good games this year, and I don't know. End of the season, I think it's a toss-up, but I'm trying to pick up some games on Bobby D and everybody, but I really think Indiana's probably going to win probably a shootout. I'm going to say like 33-26.
And I smell something about this pick here. Think there's something special. It's got to go with this one.
I don't know. Is
I'm
it special?
pretty sure there's something special as well. If we roll over an extra one.
Hey!
There it is. I knew there was something special about it. The absentee ballot mayor pick of the week here. He's stamping LH as the win.
Hey, he's on the recruitment and the trail right now for the campaign trail. So but that's a bold one. I feel safe now that I picked with the mayor.
He stamped that one so hard that the X fell off of Bobby D's pick. That's how hard he stamped the graphic on that one. So let's go ahead and move forward here into the next one. We got 3A. Let's check it out. Freeport and Mount Pleasant. This is an important one. Mount Pleasant needs to win this game if they want to stay alive in the playoff hunt. I think they're going to be up to the task at home. That's why I'm going with them. Devin's with me too. Looks like a lot of you guys are with me on this one except for TK.
Yeah, I'm kind of the guy that picks differently with all you guys on like most of the picks. I just know Mount Pleasant is a team that's close to my hometown. I've seen the way they play against some teams that aren't really from this area as close, and a lot of times when teams come in from farther away, they seem to kind of have a little run up on them, and they don't score as much if they're playing a tougher team from the Pittsburgh area and a little bit north of that. So I picked Freeport just on that note of what I've seen in the past.
Yeah, my thing with Mount Pleasant, their stadium is a very good home field advantage. I think it's going to be a close game because both teams, again, at the end of the season, there's some things to play for. The way the Mount Pleasant Stadium is built, they're right up on top of the field right there, and I just think in a case like this, you got a good Mount Pleasant team at home, you got to go with them.
Jumping on forward here, I'm thinking Vikings. We'll see if they pan it out. Now, this is going to be a tough one. The panel's sticking with the hometown bias here. Everyone's thinking McGuffey, but Avonworth. I like the Anteaters in this one. That's actually their mascot. Look it up.
Do they have a picture of it?
Yeah, seriously, it's an anteater.
Wow.
I did that because last year I did a a state soccer game, and Avonworth was in it, and I learned that they were the Anteaters, I think. Maybe they're the Antelopes.
I think they're the Antelopes.
Make an antelope thing and, do whatever, but still, I'm going with Avonworth, whatever.
I picked McGuffey just because CUTV alum Will Moore at homecoming said I got to pick McGuffey, and he offered to buy me a Chuck Wagon breakfast. So I'm going to cash that in with the Highlanders over the Anteaters / Antelopes.
Yeah.
The Antelopes.
I went with McGuffey just because I got burned in the Charleroi game, so I'm like McGuffey. No, I was winning, so.
It had to be something. I know it was something that started with an A because they were very similar. Sometimes you just get it wrong here. Let's check out the 1A game here now. There it is, Monessen and Rochester. Gary's on an island. He's got to go somewhere where it's warm.
Also on homecoming, Steve Ruffing said if you get a chance to pick, do it for me. Just live life for me, take Rochester. But here's the thing. Rochester I know they're having kind of a rough season by Rochester standings, but a good friend of mine, Jerry Wheeler, said never pick against Beaver County teams. And Rochester is a team from Beaver County, so there's that, and also trying to pick up a game on the field. But and Monessen's they're not a world beater team, so I'm going to take Rochester by 3 with the win.
We've seen them before, and they've played some pretty close games here on CUTV, but everybody else thinking the Greyhounds here. Let's check out the game of the week here. It's going to be an important one in the Tri-County South. Shar Houston and California. You can join me on the island if you wish, as I'll be picking Shar Houston. I think they're going to do it. They're going to upset California at home, and I'm going to look like an absolute bossa nova when I'm correct.
I will buy you another cake if you're right. How about
Done.
that?
I'm in.
We're going to have less sugar this time.
Less sugar. Hey, that was a quick pickup on the road.
It's good.
I was coming
liked
back
it.
from work to join you guys in Bell Vernon, and I had to pick up a cake for Colin's birthday. I didn't have time to order it. Put it that way.
We had a good cake.
Well, I don't
We
think
had
the
time.
cake was the problem. I think it was Colin's 4-pound slices.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we had a quarter sheet cake for what, 8 people?
Yeah,
Maybe
8,
7 people.
Everybody got one giant, size of a studio apartment piece of cake. But we're going to go, well, at least I'm going, Shar Houston. You guys think the hometown Trojans are going to pull it off. Shar Houston wants the playoffs, and they want it bad.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, but I think Cal at home, another place that has a pretty good home field advantage, and they've been playing pretty solid football this year. So I'm just going to take. If it's Shar Houston, I might have went the other way, but I think Cal High gets it done on Friday. Cal U's going to get it done on Saturday. Cal High's going to get it on Friday.
But either way, that brings us to the end of the pick'ems here.
Then we got some top 3 plays
Yeah,
coming up.
we can check out-
Dougie Fresh, certified.
Certified Doug E. Fresh top 3 plays of the week. So let's check out what Doug cooked up in the lab this week.
This was the big pick 6. Bell Vernon, that kind of sealed the deal.
Number 2. What have you got for 2? Looks like it's coming out of that LH game there, TK.
Yeah, big pass across the middle there, showing those shifty moves, and it's a foot race to the end zone. TJ just looked absolutely amazing versus LH.
We got number 1. What's it going to be? It's going to be the botch play here, and we're going to toss it all into the old end zone. It's going to go for a touchdown. I had a little bit of trouble keeping up with that one. But is it going to be enough? I highly, highly doubt it.
No, I mean, like I said, you got truck stick, you got speed stick, you have, stiff arm 1, 2, 3. This might be the first play in high school roundup history that has gone wire-to-wire play of the week. So, I mean, we got 2 weeks left. So if you're Cal High or Shar Houston this week or next week, Carmichael's Brownsville, you got to really do something crazy. We've seen long passes that haven't upset it, and we've seen botch plays that haven't. I think, though, the 65-yard field goal, if it would have been successful, would have.
Oh, yeah, definitely would have been up there. But let's go ahead and talk a little about the game of the week here. We're going to have, of course, Chartiers, Houston, and California, so it's going to be exciting. Tough one. I don't know really who's going to win this one. I'm thinking Char Houston, but you never really know. This was a game that I was a little iffy about when we selected it back in July, but look at that. It's panned out to be an important one with 2 weeks left.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the way the playoffs are, it's kind of crazy now that we got 6 classifications in the WPIL. So, you know, you have some conferences that pretty much have everything clinched now. You have some conferences that won't be clinched till the last day. This is one of the conferences that there's some excitement building towards the last couple weeks of the season. There's 2 weeks left. It's everything you want in a game because you got playoff implications. The weather right now, knock on wood, looks like it's going to be pretty good.
We can only hope.
It's either going to be a senior night or homecoming. We're still in that segment of the schedule where each week, the last couple weeks, are going to be homecoming or senior night. I believe it's Cal High senior night. If it's not, it'll be next week. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot to play for, and that's what you want under the lights.
And on a different note here, we're going to go ahead and talk about this quickly. Something really interesting has happened with the WPIAL as of the past couple of days. Ligonier Valley has decided to leave District 9, and they have voted, and they will be entering the WPIAL coming up next.
And that you've seen that a couple times. It seems like there's a couple schools on the periphery of the WPIAL blueprint that have come in and out. We saw a couple years ago some of the Erie schools, McDowell, and I think there was another school up there that joined and then left the WPIL. Because I was actually reading that same article earlier. It just seems like they're a team that, you know, they're just a good team. The quality of competition out there isn't the greatest, so they're going to choose to join the WPIL and the long bus rides that entails just for the quality of competition.
You want to try to step it up and give your athletes the best possible chance they have to really showcase their skills. And in a league like this is one of the perfect places that you can showcase your skills because a lot of talent comes out of this league.
Oh, yeah. Indeed, it does. I'm highlighting one guy in particular because I've been talking about him all week. Kalik Hudson. He's gonna be a first round pick in the NFL draft coming up this year. He's a senior at Michigan. He played for McKeesport. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes. I'm excited for him.
There's a lot of people you got to think about, like Malik Hooker coming out of Newcastle a couple of years ago. Of course, you know James Conner, another guy you think of. Aaron Donald. There's tons of them. There's so many, and this area just produces it. It's a history thing.
Well, I mean, it's just if you just look, there's probably I don't know the exact number, but there've got to be at least 20 Hall of Famers at least that have come from WPIAL football, and it's also the oldest league in Pennsylvania. It predates the PIAA, so there's that history aspect to it. And like I said, just the quality of play. I'm not sure what classification they'll end up being because there's also talk that they may look to reclassify again in a year or two, maybe go from 6 back to 4 classifications. That's conversation for another day, but definitely it's going to be a step up in competition for them. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed. But that brings us to an end of another great episode here, guys. Any final thoughts on what's coming up on Friday night?
I'm going with Cal win. Cal High School win. That's what I'm going with. I'm leaving it at that. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said, you said it's a battle of 2 and 3 in the ranks in that conference. So looking forward to seeing what both of them bring to the table, and whoever puts more effort forward is who's going to get the win.
I'm going to go Cal High with the win as well, but I'm also going to say we're going to see a play either in the LH game or the Cal High game that's going to eclipse the blue ribbon play, and I'm going to even call it's going to be reverse on a kickoff.
We'll see if it happens. He put it in the book. Let's see about it. I don't really know what I'm going to call. I'm still going to go with Shark Houston as my call, but other than that, I don't think we're going to see that LH play get knocked out of blue ribbon anytime soon. But guys, thanks for joining me here, and it's going to be another great weekend of high school football. So we'll see you next week after what happens under these Friday night lights. We'll talk to you all next week.